Universal Studios Hollywood in Universal City, California was probably the most surprising park on my California trip. This was the third park I visited while I was in California, and I walked out of this place quite impressed. I only spent one day at this park, but based on that one day, this is a great park. Now, of course, this was the first Universal park built. It's the closest one to the Universal backlot. And speaking of the backlot, the reason everyone knows about this park is because of the famous studio tour, which I did get a chance to do. It's a very cool experience, but I'll be talking about that in greater detail later. This park has lots of cool attractions, including my personal favorite theme park land ever created, the Wizarding World of Harry Potter. Oh my god, this is the best land in the park. I just love walking around and taking in all the scenery and looking at every little detail. Universal Studios Hollywood spent a lot of time building this land, and they did an amazing job. They have Ollivanders, which is just amazing, but if you're going to want to buy a wand from it, the line can get very long. It got almost an hour wait when I went. If you do end up waiting in that line and buying a wand, you can actually walk around the land, and if you stand in a certain area of the land and move your wand in a certain movement, sometimes there'll be a really cool effect go off, like a door unlocking, fire coming out of a roof, or even a dress moving up and down by itself. Like, the amount of detail they put into everything in this land is just absolutely mind-blowing. You could easily spend a whole day in this one area of the park and you'd be satisfied. Harry Potter and the Forbidden Journey is probably my favorite ride in the whole park. It's just phenomenal. The attention to detail and theming makes this one of the most well-themed rides on Earth. You can't leave Universal Studios Hollywood without doing that and the studio tour. Okay. Yeah, I've spent quite a lot of time just talking about the Wizarding World of Harry Potter. Let's get into my experience. When you go to the park, you may notice that a lot of the roads go uphill. You can either go into the Frankenstein lot to park, or you can go to the upper parking lot close to the entrance. You walk up to the entrance, and you see this amazing globe and the front gate, and you also have City Walk off to the right. I didn't go inside of City Walk, but City Walk is where there's like a bunch of shops and restaurants, and it stays open later than the park itself. So if the park closes and you still want to experience stuff, you can go into City Walk. You walk into the park, and you walk down this long midway, and you can either go right to enter the Wizarding World of Harry Potter, or left for Despicable Me Minion Mayhem. That's also where the Walking Dead walkthrough attraction is, which I didn't get to do either, but I have done the Minion Mayhem in Florida, so I kind of knew what to expect anyway. Or you can also continue forward to enter Springfield, which is where you can find the Simpsons ride. And they also have a bunch of Midway games, which I didn't do, because, I don't like Midway games. Also, another attraction that they have is the DreamWorks Theater, which plays different films. And when I went, they were playing a Kung Fu Panda one, which I did get to do, but I personally thought it was too short, so I'd probably do that towards the end of your day. And that's something you'll notice about this park, is that almost all the rides here are screen-based, which is okay for this park, because Universal does great with their screen rides. They do a great job theming it and everything. However, yeah, they do have quite a lot of screen rides. This park also does have a couple coaster credits. They have two. These are Flight of the Hippogriff and Revenge of the Mummy, which I thought was very cool. And Revenge of the Mummy is different from the one at Universal Studios Florida, so don't skip it. And that's something that I've noticed about this park for the most part. Universal Studios Hollywood combines aspects of both of the Universal parks in Florida, which is something that I thought was so cool. It has the best of both Universal Studios Florida and Islands of Adventure combined into one, as well as having other attractions and lands unique to Universal Studios Hollywood. Now, something you might notice about this park is that there's a whole other section of the park you might not know about. You see, Universal Studios Hollywood is actually located on the side of a mountain, so some of the rides had to be built on the base of the mountain. So certain areas are farther uphill than others, so the park is divided into two areas. These are the upper lot and the lower lot. You enter the park on the upper lot, which is where Wizarding World of Harry Potter, Minion Mayhem, and Springfield are, as well as the entrance to the studio tour. So I wouldn't be surprised if someone spent the whole day just walking around those areas of the park, not knowing about the other rides in the lower lot, because it is kind of secluded from the rest of the park. And, you just can't look down and see the lower lot rides, so they might miss out on quite a few of those if they don't know that it's there. In order to get to the lower lot, you have to go down not one, not two, not three, not five, but four escalators just to get to the lower lot. Now, there aren't too many rides in the lower lot. They only have 3 major rides. These are Transformers, Revenge of the Mummy, and new for 2019, Jurassic World, which was under construction when I went, so I missed out on that. They're also rumored to be building a Secret Life of Pets theme ride down there too, so of course I didn't get to do that either because, it wasn't there yet. Now, the best ride down there is probably Revenge of the Mummy for now, which is their Premier Rides indoor launch coaster. And there were quite a couple of surprises in there that I wasn't expecting, so yeah, be sure to do that. There are also some walk-around characters near Revenge of the Mummy, which is pretty cool. And then they also have Raptor Encounter near Jurassic World, but that was closed because it had rained earlier in the day, and they don't do that in the rain, so, I didn't get to do that either. So that's just what to expect about the rides and areas of the park. Let's get into the food. Now, the food at Universal Studios Hollywood was actually not that bad. I ate at the Three and Broomsticks in Wizarding World of Harry Potter, which by itself is an amazing experience. It's one of the most themed restaurants I've ever eaten at, and I had the fish and chips there, which is just fried cod with potato wedges, and it wasn't that bad. I really liked it. But as you expect, the food here was ridiculously overpriced because, it's Universal. And from what I hear, the food in City Walk is cheaper. So if you want some cheap food options, go into City Walk. And of course, I also had the warm butterbeer. That stuff is so freaking good. Don't get it cold. You have to get it warm for the full effect. So for the most part, I really like the food at Universal Studios Hollywood. And the merchandise here is also so good. Now, you know me. I love my theme park merch. And if you watch my Six Flags Magic Mountain review, you know that I was really disappointed with the merchandise there. But Universal Studios Hollywood made up for that. They had amazing merchandise. Like, they have stuff from the Harry Potter movies. They were selling some robes. They were selling wands. They had these figurines of characters from some of their movies. They were selling Universal shirts. It all looked very cool. This park also has quite a few shows. Now, I hear that the shows here are so top-notch, but unfortunately, like the idiot that I am, I didn't get to see any. They have a special effects show, which from what I hear is amazing because they have access to all the Hollywood props because, it's right next to the Universal Studios backlot. And of course, they have the legendary Water World. So if you want to know about the shows, you've come to the wrong place. Another thing that I want to get into really quick is the employees here. The employees always look and sound as if they're having fun just working there, which in turn causes the guests to have fun too. All the employees are completely in character depending on the ride, which I think is so cool. It really helps set the mood of the ride. And also, for some reason, they clap whenever you return to the station, which, I don't know how to react to that because all I did was ride their ride. But I like the enthusiasm, so the employees here are awesome. And now, for the moment all of you have been waiting for, the studio tour. The studio tour is easily the best part of Universal Studios Hollywood. You know me. I love to see sets from movies and look at some of the effects that they use. I really like seeing all that stuff. And I also love just seeing the movie stages and sound lots. So this is one of the coolest rides I've ever done. The tour lasts about an hour and the lines can get very long, so be sure to do that first. They give you some 3D glasses for your tour, and you start the tour around the Universal Studios backlot, and you get to see everything. You get to see some of the sets that they've used for TV shows and movies. You get to see the sound stages and the backlots. It is so cool. They also have a few show scenes during the tour too. Like they have a King Kong section where they use these really huge screens to simulate a journey on Skull Island. They have a small section themed to Jurassic Park. They have some animatronic Dilophosauruses, which I thought was cool. And they have the famous subway station scene. They also have a Jaw scene. They have the house from Psycho. And one of the coolest scenes was the one for War of the Worlds. The amount of detail in that section of the tour was just breathtaking. The amount of detail just going into one of the planes was better than any theming at Magic Mountain. It was just top quality. But that's just a few things you can see during the studio tour. I'm not going to spoil any more for you guys. So for my final thoughts, if you're on a time crunch and you need to pick and choose what parks you want to do, I'd say try and squeeze in this park. It really is worth it, especially for that studio tour. Just don't go in expecting it to have some high thrill rides like Magic Mountain or Knott's Berry Farm. But if you're in the area, definitely come try and visit this place. And I'm glad I got the opportunity to visit this place. I had a great time here, and if I had the opportunity, I would definitely come back. But this is just my opinion on Universal Studios Hollywood in Universal City, California. Let me know your thoughts about this park in the comments below, and I'll see you guys next time.